Hello, I'm Bood and welcome to the channel and welcome to a brand new all or nothing video. If you enjoy it, make sure you hit that thumbs up, get involved in the comments, subscribe if you're new, and if you really want to help my channel out, you can always become a patron. And if you haven't already, you can go and check out all my other content. I've done quite a few all or nothing videos. You'll find them on my channel video list where you find all my videos. So go and have a look, you might enjoy them. But for now, we're here with a brand new episode. And as you've seen by the title, it is going to be with Sunderland. Sunderland till I die. Also, if you're a fan of American sports, you might recognise the two faces on the thumbnail and have some idea of what I'm going to do, but you haven't got every idea. I like this. I can't wait to find out what happens. So, let me explain a little more. So we have two of American sports' biggest superstars. LeBron James of the LA Lakers, the famous NBA player, and of course the GOAT himself, the greatest quarterback of all time, Tom Brady. Now both men have won multiple titles in their sports. Now LeBron though, he's probably got a year or two left of playing at a high level, and Tom Brady on the other hand, at 44 years old, even though he's still playing at a high level, at this moment in time is looking like he might finally retire. So these two men both thinking about the future. They're both very rich, but they want to get involved in some kind of sporting business. And what's the biggest sport and the biggest league in the world? We all know. It's English football and the Premier League. But they don't want to go straight into the Premier League. They wanted a project. So they teamed up and decided to join forces, join all their money, and buy a football club. Now they were inspired by two other famous Americans, Rob and Ryan, who bought Wrexham. I think everybody knows about that. And that's a great little project with a non-league team. And they have a combined fortune of 200 million. But LeBron and Brady, their combined fortune is 750 million. And they wanted to aim a little bit higher. They wanted to buy a team that needed some support, needed some help, but already had Premier League facilities and fans in place. So they decided to buy Sunderland. Why not? The mighty Sunderland, who play at the beautiful Stadium of Light, a Premier League stadium, a Premier League club that's fallen on hard times and finds itself in League One. So after buying the club for a cool 30 million, their hopes was to build this team and this club back into a Premier League team and potentially sell it on one day for a massive profit. Now the Sunderland fans didn't know what to expect, but I think they were happy. And they needed to become happy because they've had a lot of hardships over the years, especially her down there in the front row. She really needs some happy times. And there were going to be big changes at the club now LeBron and Brady had taken over. The first thing they were going to do was sack the manager. He was out the door along with all the staff. Everything else though was going to be pretty much staying the same. Sort of. All the players that are at the club when you start a game, they're going to be staying. I've not changed the stadium, all the facilities, the club's reputation, nothing. I have tweaked the finances though. I've not gone giddy. If you do a billionaire video where you're going to try and turn a team into the new Manchester City or Paris Saint-Germain, you might give him 250 million commercial income a year, sort out the sponsorship. I've not done that, but I have given the club 50 million a year. So they're guaranteed to get 50 million a year from their new owners who are going to invest in this squad and hopefully get them into the Premier League and start tapping into the Premier League money. But I have done something else. It's not just an owner's experiment, no. I've added 17 very good young players. Now they're not WONDERKIDS, and if you go on any online website that shows you the list of all the best young players in the world on the game, none of these lads make the top 5. Well, 2 of them do. One I couldn't resist because he's my favourite player in the game. I think a lot of people might know that. And one of the goalkeepers as well. The rest of them are like just creeping into the top 10. Some are a lot lower, ranging from anywhere from a 16-year-old to a 20-year-old. And all 17 of them are going to be locked in for 20 years. And I just thought it'd be good to use a majority of them. Of unknowns really. You might know some of them. I didn't know most of them. I went for lads that I didn't know about. I just randomly picked them because they maybe played for like Dynamo or something like that, just to mix it up, just to give me an idea of who's any good. Are any of these players actually any good? Are they going to be worth buying for me in a future save? Are they going to be worth buying for you in a future save? Can they all team together and drag this club up back to the Premier League? Are some of them going to fall by the wayside? Will it be an epic failure? Will LeBron and Brady sell up after a couple of years? We've no idea. I have no idea, but excited to find out. So, shall we? So what I've done right here is loaded up a standard save, just to look at the odds for Sunderland, who, weirdly, and I started putting this together a couple of days ago, since I've started putting it together, I've been battered off Bolton 6-0. And I've just sacked Lee Johnson in real life, even though they're third in the league and only 2 points off the top. Now, I don't know what's going on there. I know 6-0's bad, but they're still in with a chance of actually winning the league. So if you're a Sunderland fan, let me know what's been going on. But the game at the very start, with no changes, has got Sunderland as 9th, which ain't great for a club of that size. So will these 17 players and LeBron and Brady as owners make any difference? Well, of course it has. I mean, these are 17 very good young players. All have got like a potential ability of -8, -8.5. Some have even got -9. So they're good. They're not the best. I don't even know if any of them are officially a wonder kid. But 20 years together, I'm expecting some of them to do very well and to really help this club with a little help financially to get back in the Premier League. So here they all are, now at Sunderland, trapped there for 20 years. Now, I've not gone into each one individually and sent them to the club they began their career at. I couldn't be bothered, it'd take forever. So, because I love Stockport County, they're all just going to go to Stockport in 20 years' time. It was just easier to do. But it's all about trapping them here for 20 years and seeing what we can get out of them, see if they can turn into a unit, see who develops, because apart from, obviously, you might have seen him already, my favourite player of this year's game, Lorenzo Luca, love him, and the goalkeeper, Martin van der Voort. I don't know really much about the rest of them. Got one goalkeeper, and it is Martin van der Voort, 19-year-old Belgian from Genk. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name, but he's a young centre-half, 18 years old. These names are awesome. Maybe I should have just picked all the Smiths and the Joneses. I should have just picked English players, shouldn't I? I still probably wouldn't be able to say the names. Pavlovic, that's what we're going for, 20-year-old Serbian. Valentin Antov, centre-half and defensive midfielder from Bulgaria. Ruslan Litvinov, defensive midfielder, Russian, 19. Next up we've got Malo Gusto, and I'm realising my face pack has got many faces missing. I normally put them in, but I haven't on this video because I've been a bit lazy, been a bit busy. Joshua Vagnoman, German, 20 years old from Hamburg. Luca Netz, now I do know this lad, I have had him I think on loan or something. I can't remember what because I play a lot of Football Manager, but I'm sure I've had him at some point. Isaac Bergman Johannesson, wow, from Iceland, 18 years old, central midfielder. Junior Bitter from the Ivory Coast, 16 years old. Like I said, I think a lot of these guys honestly have got great potential. Every single one of these players, even though it's -8 up to -9, has got the potential to be a Premier League player. Will it work out that way? We'll have to wait and see. Ivan Saranik, a right winger and AMC, Croatian, 18 years old. Alberto Moliero, 17 years old, Spanish from Las Palmas. Emre Demir, Turkish, 17 years old, looks alright. Savio, a right winger who can cover in multiple positions, Brazilian, 17 years old from Atletico Mineiro. Can't say that either. Mamadou, he's only 16 from Switzerland. Has he got a big future in Sunderland? Lorenzo Luca, if you're a fan of my channel, you know how much I love this man. He's my superstar striker at Building Venezia. If you haven't seen that series, go and check out Building Venezia. 6 episodes at the minute of awesomeness. You love it. Go and check it out. But yeah, he's a fantastic player. I think he's in the top 5 of best young strikers, you know, on all the Wonder Kid lists. And he should be because he's brilliant. And in fact, my friend Davil sent me a message this morning saying he might be leaving Pisa because he only signed for Pisa this year from Palermo, joining Sassuolo in Serie A. He should be in Serie A. He's good enough. And last but not least, we've got a young striker I've never heard of called Jason van Duiven, 16, from Holland, from PSV. So I'm excited to see what this kid can do. So like I said, all the staff went. The computer will have put some regen ones in, but hopefully when the new owners bring in their own manager, he'll just bring in his own staff. It's a fresh start for Sunderland. I mean, I genuinely think this is a Premier League club. The size of it, the fan base, the stadium. hopefully we get to see him one day back in the Premier League, because I really do think they should be there. They shouldn't be in League One. Well, here we are, only 3 years into the future, because I save it every year, and I just wanted to find out when they first get into the Premier League, and they're in the Premier League, which is great. So it seems to have been working, and 2 of the lads are the captain and the vice captain, so that's great as well. I mean, look at the size of this stadium. Fantastic, isn't it? The amount of season ticket holders they've got. And they've got Alex Neil as the manager. I don't know if he's the first manager. And LeBron James and Tom Brady are still the owners. LeBron's the richer, so he's the official owner, and Brady's come in as more of an investor, director. That's the way I've worked it. But they're still in charge. So it looks like they got promoted straight away, because it's nice and green, and they won League One. Got into the Championship and won the Championship. That's perfect. I mean, these are good young players. I expect them to get up quickly. You just never know sometimes. You're going to like have a year in the playoffs or whatever, but they've got themselves straight into the Premier League. And they managed to finish 13th that first season. No player in the top 3 of anything. But it's quite cool this. They've not got the financial backing of the new Newcastle, but they might be able to give Newcastle a run for the money, and I think that'd be quite interesting in the end. Because I've done a lot of simulations, and Newcastle, I've got a lot of money. But I'm not seeing them like win tons of trophies. It's not like they dominate. Still just the usual teams that seem to dominate the Premier League and so on. But it would be cool to see if Sunderland can at least compete now. Well, here we are now, 1st of June 2031. Stadium highlights still looks the same. Season tickets gone up though. And they're now managed by Pellegrino Matarazzo. So there's been changes there. And they're in the Premier League. Looks like they've just finished 6th in the Premier League. We left them at that point when they finished 13th, and I thought they were going to climb. But they didn't. They finished 18th the year after and got relegated. Came straight back up as champions and instantly finished 6th. 6th, 7th, 6th, 8th and 6th. So they're there. They're thereabouts, aren't they? So it's been 7 years and there's been some changes manager-wise in that period. Alex Neil got the sack after just over 3 years. Then they brought in Ralph. He resigned. Brendan Rodgers got sacked. Wow. Sean Dyche got sacked. Nuno Espirito Santo, he got sacked. And now they've got Pella, whatever his name is. Competitions though, after getting promoted back into the Premier League, they went on and won the UEFA Europa Conference League. So they've won a European trophy. I love that. And in 2028, LeBron and Brady, after getting this team into the Premier League and establishing it as a Premier League team, after only buying the club for £30 million, I've probably sold it for 300 million, 400 million. They've done what they wanted to do. They've made an absolute fortune and got out. And what was awesome is they sold it to Jong Bumco. Who was a tycoon. I love a tycoon takeover. Can't freaking complain with a bit of Jong Bumco. But then he scaled down the funding a few years later. But that funding in 2029 might have helped him win a European trophy. On to our shortlist of our 17 players. And of course, some of them really have risen to become top players. Some of them haven't, by the looks of it. I bet they've just rotted. Mamadou has not had a work permit. That lad's just been training for 10 years. doing nothing, not progressing. But it is what it is. If you're not good enough, you're not good enough. Simple as that. But some of these lads are good enough. We've got Luca Netz, who is the highest valued player, 28 years old, 75 caps now for his country. The young left back has become a very good player, an elite fullback. Malo Augusto, the right back, he's become an elite fullback too. The Frenchman, I've never heard of him, but you know, you might want to give him a try now. Looks like he's good. Savio, the Brazilian, again, I've not heard of him. You might knock me for that, but I haven't heard of him. But he's some player, him. Like, he looks really good to me. Quite like him. How's my main man, Lorenzo Luca? He's now 30 years old, only 19 caps, 7 goals, but he scored a ton of goals for Sunderland. Looks like he's still getting a goal every other game. An elite striker. Oh, I love me some Lorenzo Luca. I do. Valentin Antov, the 4th highest valued player. Again, defender, defensive midfielder, 30 years old, 72 caps for Bulgaria, and he's played a ton for Sunderland. Looks like a really good elite centre-back. And the last player I want to look at is a goalkeeper. I can't go through them all. I might put the shortlist down there and the save file if you want to have a go with Sunderland yourself. I'll put the start save file down below to download, and I'll put the shortlist down there as well, just so you can have all your players in one space and have a look through them if you want. Maybe you can progress some of them kids that the computer's just thrown to the wayside, because trust me, they've all got great potential. And the computer's definitely wasted some talent in this squad. So we're going to jump forward now another 10 years to just before all the lads' deals finish. Just before they all go to Stockport County. And can this club really kick on and use a lot of this talent to go to the next level? Are they going to stay where they are? Or are they going to drop back down? I love this. Should we find out? Welcome to the 1st of June 2041. Did Lebron and Brady lay enough of a foundation to really grow this club? They sold it onto a tycoon. Did he take it onto the next level? Well, they've just finished second in the Premier League, which is pretty cool, and they're currently looking for a manager. And if we go to the graph, look at that. They've won a Premier League. Look like they've won 2. So we know they were floating around here. Started getting the top 4, bit of Champions League football. Finally won the league in 2037. Then finished 3rd. Then finished 2nd. Then finished 1st. And these years now they're winning titles. All our lads are going to be old, most of them. So they must have laid that foundation to turn them into a good enough club to start winning titles, because these lads aren't going to be doing it. I mean, Luca Netz is still the vice captain. Pellegrino Matarazzo was manager for 10 years and they've sacked him. 2 league titles, 8 cup wins. One of them is the Champions League. Right, which he won last year. He's won Premier League titles, been there 10 years. He's won them a Champions League. The first final, by the looks of it, Newcastle won one. I'm not dissing Newcastle, love Newcastle. It's just they're their main rivals. But I can't see Newcastle even getting to a final with all that money. Sunderland did, beating Inter. Why has he got sacked? Let's check in on the Europa League, and Sunderland are actually runners up in 2032 to Lazio, and runners up again to Sevilla in 2037. Oh, they nearly had the full set, didn't they? Because don't forget, they won the Europa Conference League back in 29. The following year, Newcastle nearly won it, got beat off Fiorentina. So it baffles me. Did they won that title because he finished 2nd this year? After everything he's achieved, they've sacked him. I mean, they've got the leading goal scorer as well, who is a regen, but he's a sick-ass regen. Look at that, 350 grand a week. 26-year-old, and he's Hungarian. I love that. Hungarian as well. He used to play for Derby, for God's sake, years ago. So yeah, I did not think they'd go to this level after the players and the owners and that left. Maybe the tycoon helped. Well, he cut the funding years ago. Don't even know if he's still the owner right now, to be fair. He is, but he's cut that funding down a few times. A tight bastard. Not much of a tycoon, is he? So, of course, 2 Premier League titles, a couple of runners-up, finishing 3rd as well. Did Newcastle ever win the league? Surprising, isn't it? They've got the mega money. But I don't know why are they not doing what a City do or anyone else does when you give them loads of money. It does baffle me. Go to the history of the FA Cup. Sunderland won one. I don't think they finished runners-up. No, but they won one. Onto the Carabao Cup, and they've had a good few years, the last few years, when they've been like this top team. Won 2 back-to-back, and then they lost it to City. So yeah, some of these lads, their careers never really took off. They're all very old, and they're all rotting away. In the youth teams, probably, which is sad. And I mean, no one's kept the value, but they're all really old. Got 40-year-olds and so on. And I don't think many of them made it all the way. I mean, Luca Netz, who's still the vice captain, still looks like a very good player. To me, says he's a cracking left back, and his natural fitness might help. But if I could sign him, I would, because I know I'm going to get my money's worth out of him, because he's still going, and he's still playing a few games at 38 in the Prem. Again, Savio, the Brazilian, I need to stick his face in so I know what he looks like, really, because it might be my bad, but I've not heard too much about this kid. But again, it might be his natural fitness, but at 37, he's still a good player. How's my man, Lorenzo? Well, I'm wondering, because natural fitness of 15 is decent, but if it's more like 17, 18, 19, then do the careers last longer? He's now a rangy striker who, you know, scored a lot of goals and played a lot of games. Hasn't played for years. For years. He was a main man for a long, long time. Looks like he became a bit part striker, but then a good period of time, and then has spent a long time doing absolutely feck all apart from collecting his paycheck. Well, you get players like this. He was only 16 years old when he started, but trust me, he's got very good potential. But he was never used. And he played 35 games over his entire career, scored 6 goals and just never developed. And this shows you, you know, when you've got minus potential, it can go either way. If you don't play him, you don't use him, they're not going to grow. I'm disappointed because he was only young and I wanted to see what he could become. But, you know, anything can happen when you do something like this. So it would be interesting to see what this kid could do if he was forced to play. Because I feel like we've missed the trick with that one, but it is what it is. Sad. But yeah, very, very happy. You don't know how these things are going to turn out, but they've done way better than I thought they would, especially after the players all got old. I might have missed some when I was looking at who won what, but Newcastle did get to 3 finals and they lost all 3. So that's disappointing, isn't it? With the money they've got, you do expect Newcastle to win stuff. But definitely Sunderland came out on top with a lot less money. And a good few talented players, don't get me wrong, but definitely came out on top. And that superstar is the Ballon d'Or holder, Marco. Wow, what a player. I do love regens. I say this before, I've said this before, but Football Manager comes alive for me when the real players piss off and you get all these regens that are just yours to play with. But yeah, what a player he is. But what makes me proud is Lorenzo Luca is still the main man in Sunderland's best ever 11. He's still the hero with 240 goals in 446 games. And a lot of the lads are still in there. Obviously, the other guys have come in. So maybe this could give you an idea, really, of who you might want to sign in the future. Some of these guys you might never have heard of. Take a look at them. Like I said, I'll put the save file for the start down below if you want to have a go at this with Brady and Lebron as your boss with these 17 players. And if you do, let me know. Try and use some of them younger players because the computer's crap at stuff like that. Maybe you won't use your 17 players. Try and develop them into a full squad because the computers just can't resist going buying other players, can it? And it's put them on the back burner because I think all 17 are good enough if used rightly to become all of them are to become Premier League players. And maybe Sunderland would have won a lot more if they'd used them properly. So there we go, that is the end of All or Nothing Sunderland Till I Die. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Imagine if you're a Newcastle fan, you stopped watching. I didn't even watch and you saw the thumbnail. But if you are a Newcastle fan and watched it, thank you very much. I'd love to know what you all think. It was just an experiment, it's just a bit of fun. And again, if you have a go of it, let me know how you get on developing those 17 players and who comes out on top for you. Well, thank you for watching. I appreciate thumbs up, comments, all that good stuff. But the most important thing to me is always your view. And I really appreciate you sitting here with me, looking at my face, listening to my voice. You're a legend. So stay happy, stay safe, and booed. Bye-bye.